Welcome to Jackal Digital. I made this game, Flip a Switch, some time back, and I decided to polish it a little bit based on the feedback that I got. One of those things was haptic feedback, so basically the controllers, they vibrate anytime that you move it over a switch, so basically hover over a switch. And because I have a lot of switches, the controllers would basically vibrate every time. So on one hand, you knew that you hovered over a switch, but on the other hand, you did not know when you actually pressed it. While I do have a lot of visual feedback and also audio feedback, when you successfully flip the switch back, I do not have a physical feedback. And this is why I decided to take a look at the code, see what kind of changes I can make, and if the gameplay will then be actually better. And in my opinion, it is. And this also means that the batteries in the controllers will last longer. Now let's get digital. So I have two serializable fields. So XOR base input in interactor, and I have two controllers, both the left and right one. This will allow me to simply click and drag the game objects into the hierarchy. When I press a switch, I click the send haptics on click. And let me go down below so we can see the code. So if we have the right controller not equal to null, the same for the left one, this is always true if you use them, so both of the controllers will be active and vibrate when you press a switch. Not the best solution, but this is how that can work. And you do have other options, but none of them work out of the box if you just want to separate the left and the right haptics. I did test it out, but I did not find any combination that would actually work. Now in this case, I will also do a separate haptics feedback. And if you go into the XOR origin, we have the left and right controller. And in this case, let's see, I decided for the near far interactor because it can override, by default at least, the poke interactor. As you can see, by default, the near far interactor has the poke interactor to be overwritten. So that is why I simply left it to default. Now for the settings that I used, I have disabled the play hover entered. I could enable it and simply lower the amplitude, but using anything less than 0.25, at least on Quest 3, made the controllers really struggle to produce any kind of vibrations, so I simply left it off. So we have the amplitude multiplier. I have set this or left it to 1. If you set that to 0, you won't have any haptic feedback. Now that is how I have done the main switch, so you can press it with the left and right controller and both of them will vibrate at the start. But this is how you can enable just one of the controllers based on which one actually flipped a switch. So this is the function that triggers when a switch is flipped or clicked. And we have a bunch of things, visuals mostly, but also the click switch from Interactable, which is responsible for controlling the left and the right controller haptic feedback. Now this is something that ChatGPT recommended after a bunch of back and forth, so vibe coding, I think it's called, is not the best, especially if you do know how to do it, because you will do it a lot faster than just vibe coding. Now it did also refactor the code a little bit, I did not ask it to, so it made its own function, reaction to points, which is basically the multiplier bonus that I have manually set in one of the previous functions up above. So in the click switch section, the click switch and this click switch from Interactable is basically the same. The only thing that is different is the send haptic impulse, which is this section. Now the input interactor will send the haptic impulse feedback to either the left or the right controller, and the 0.6F in this case is the amplitude and 0.12F is the duration. Now that's it when it comes to the code, but you still have something to do when it comes to the actual implementation. You apply the script to a game object. In this case I have a parent object and the actual switch. So the extra simple interactable is on the switch, and I have the select entered and select exited. That is not what I want. I need to go under the active, so activated. When I press the controller, this will register, so I'll put the game object in, go to the switch controller script and click on the click switch from interactable function. So this code will be called when I press the controller and I actually flip the switch back up, which means that the controller that flipped the switch will have the haptics, be it the left or the right, but not both at the same time, unless I press two different switches. Now I made this video because I did not find anything up to date when it comes to Unity and VR. Most of the code that ChatGPT suggested was outdated, deprecated, and, well, just not working. So this is the solution that worked for me, at least in this specific case. Is it the best solution and the best code? Definitely not, but it does exactly what I want. Now that's it for this section of the game polish. The next one, when I get to it, will be multiplayer section. Now I did not make this game with multiplayer in mind because I only had one headset, but the idea is that I will make a multiplayer high score. I have never done anything when it comes to multiplayer, so this will be a challenge, to say the least. So if you want to see how I will tackle this challenge, subscribe to the channel, and also if you do have any input on how I can implement the multiplayer high scores, leave me a comment down below. About the high scores, just give me 5 seconds. That's it, game is done. Look to the left side and we see the top 10 high scores. Now I do have a list that is basically infinite and I display 10 scores, but the idea now is that these scores are in cloud, so people can actually play from different locations and on different headsets, and maybe also have multiple headsets in one location. So basically the admin could make an event and people that play in that event would see the high scores from that event, and maybe also have a second tab to see the overall high scores. So that is something that I currently have to look into. And also I have no idea which multiplayer leaderboard service I would use. But because this game will not have millions and millions of users, I imagine some kind of a free plan will suffice. That's it for this video. I'm Simon, and until next time, Jackal, keep it digital.